Kylo Ren sounds like a creative technologist from Norway on LinkedIn. The co-leaders of Cobra's elite troops, the Crimson Twins, are trust fund terrorists. And she's a feminist, means she thinks men don't have the right to pull out on top of another girl's less flabby bottom. Can I get a holla? But going for the kill shots, as usual. Holla! Not wearing masks in public now is the new barebacking. It gives you a heady rush of freedom, like doing cocaine in your Vegas hotel room, rather than some dumpy towny bar in northern Westchester County. Only hearing last call from the bathroom stall, asking your bud, "Where's Hunter? Can I get another holla? Because the best is yet to come. More kill shots for you and me. Holla!" My family got a series of rabies shots because the FBI planted a Chinese cobra bat in our house to take out man-made virus Wuhan truthers like myself who support you-know-who. W's digitally literate librarian wife is helping W post video messages on Twitter now to cut China some slack because he isn't a globalist puppet pawn of the most deplorable order. Can I get a holla? For you can only hope to contain Michael Kornbluth because this is the Last Joke podcast, so we're going to make it count. Holla! You'd figure W would paint a picture to get his point across instead of having to talk to a camera again. A picture is worth 1,000 words, W. Like your dumb country conjuring East Coast weird ass stalling for 5,000 Mississippi after receiving word of the first tower of the World Trade Center going down on your watch. You know, before Jon Stewart bequeathed the Daily Show to Trevor Noah to showcase his post-Obama wokeness. Can I get a holla for a well-deserved Jon Stewart blast because he fucked up and the show sucks forever now? Holla! W posting video Twitter messages is weird. It's like Jon Stewart shaving and doing crowd work at Trump rallies, relishing the larger, adoring crowds of yesteryear. Can I get another holla for Last Joke Podcast? I should not smoke weed ever again or ever do Adderall because of this phenomenal flow and super tight punchlines. Not going to hear Kimmel forevermore. Holla! Outside of a cute blonde bartender in Bergen, whose father was an oil man who originally came from Texas, outside of her, who also acts like the Oslo Accords gives Palestinians the right to use UN money to build debt tunnels so they could kidnap and murder Israeli children at will, ducking more rocket fire over the wall. You never hear anyone else besides that bartender. You never, from Bergen, originally from Texas, you never hear anyone else these days admit, "I love Obama." Comedy Central executives felt the same when they re-signed Trevor Noah for the foreseeable future. Can I get a holla for directors of talent acquisition at Viacom? I'm a viable replacement. I'm waiting for your phone call. We're connected on LinkedIn now. Ah! The Archbishop of New York, my new favorite Archbishop, says the left wing is snooty over my dealings with Trump. Off the record, the Archbishop tells a reporter at Breitbart, "I never believed in essential abortions for baby boomer journalists until now. Can I get a holla for all my hyperbola fulfilling its manifest joke destiny?" Ah! And just to reminisce a little, my wife says, the baby gets bored when he spends too much time around me. I always know he was a quick learner. Can I get a holla? For a joke even my dad appreciates, because he's cooped up in Arizona now with my mom more than he's accustomed to. Holla! I have 3 kids. I've aged well, I know. My wife hasn't sucked the life out of my face yet. She says I've sacrificed. She acts like an aspiring comedian in his late 20s, wanted kids ever. Can I get another holla? 4, chesty Italian mouse with juicy sweatpants. Loving that one-liner. At the coffee shop, when they used to be open. We used to flirt with my son. And I said to my son, by flirting with you, they're flirting with me. Because you stem from 2 old dad's tree trunk over here. Ha! Thank you very much. 3 kids Let me rephrase that. 3 kids. 3 unplanned kids later. It's safe to say I never mastered the art of the pump fake. Can I get another holla for advertising something I shouldn't? But it's funny, and it's the best thing that ever happened to me. Holla! 1 kid only means your diaphragm is for walls after all. Can I get another holla for Trump Train Nation is bound for glory. Holla! I stopped smoking weed after I thought my kids were asleep because it would take forever for me to answer my daughter's questions while still on the sticky, icky stuff. Daughter asked, Daddy, if God created the universe, then who created God? Eventually, I say, God went back in time in a time machine made by Elon Musk. Daughter says, real convincing, Dad. Thanks for making me an atheist at 4. Can I get a holla for the Peloton bike contributing to this amazing flow? Airtight timing that's never been better. Holla! But God didn't give me 3 kids to have a panic attack over it. God never had the same confidence in Pete Davidson, the voice of Generation Z, the boy toy rebound king of Manhattan. Can I get another holla for some quality dumpage on Pete Davidson? I'm sure the king of Staten Island's going to be C+ hilarious in Judd Apatow's eyes for him being responsible for normalizing meh funny and ruining the golden age of comedy forevermore. Holla! Thank you very much. 4 kids would really piss my parents off because they feel like more ineffectual virtual grandparents than ever before. Ha! Hey, Breitbart, was that a little too crazy for you? A little too off color? Would you consider this awful comedy? Because you're a joyless douche that's never turned on anyone by your presence? That's what I thought. Ha! But like I said before, and I said it before in this podcast, Facebook, founded by Goodwill Hoodie, stole by Goodwill Hoodie, Z-Face Zuck has made baby boomers the laziest grandparent generation of all time. Can I get another holla for nicknames of Z-Face Zuck you're not going to hear on Kimmel or Fallon or Seth Meyers? Holla! No Trevor Noah. I'm going to talk in this measured tone and act like I'm so erudite. I stopped myself there from going down a rabbit hole. But I'm never going to mention all the pedal installation art at John Podesta's house that would make Marilyn Manson blush. Ah! The John Podesta, chief of staff for Bill Clinton. I campaign manager for Hillary Hamilton Cankles. Ah! Google it. You don't have to go to Breitbart. Dun, dun, dun. So, Seth Rich lives. But like I was saying, folks, 4 kids would really piss my parents off because they'd feel like more ineffectual virtual grandparents than ever before. Lifting a finger is liking a picture on Facebook. If we were still connected on Facebook, can I get another holla for shrugging my material off long time? Because you only get one Last Show Podcast from Michael Kornblum forevermore. Ah! I have no idea if I'm even using forevermore the right context anymore, but I don't give a fuck, because it's the Last Show Podcast. Ah! Thank you very much. Am I seem a little crazy off kilter? It's called showmanship. Humorless douche who wants to own Democrats and the liberals. Ah! Thank you very much. 4 kids would really piss my parents off, but I'm scared of getting a vasectomy because I don't want my ballsack to feel like Edward Scissorhands' face. Can I get it on the holla for what Gen X parents understand? Meaning them understanding A+ references like that. Oh, I'm so glad your son got that joke. Well, if your son got that joke, then middle America could get it, because they're just a bunch of dumb hicks, and obviously I'm not that sophisticated. If I could create the perfect universal joke that can make your, blob-brained 8-year-old laugh. I'm not on Adderall, I promise. If I have to hear it one more time from my son, what can I do? After mommy has failed to engage me for more than a whopping 40 minutes, I'm moving to Utah to become a Peloton instructor to stay extra fit for pleasing my 5 wives who will keep my kids occupied while I write my next hit novel, Do It All Dad Does Mormons in the process. Can I get a holla? I'm ready to line them up like dominoes. Here I come, Utah. Ba-bam, bam, 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 holla! Can I get it on the holla? Oh, Utah Mormon love. Getting me returned on the process. Holla! I'm definitely breaking a personal best all-time record for Hollows One podcast, which you only get for the Last Show Podcast. Holla! Without counsel, plans are frustrated, King Solomon? You mean like not asking my mom if it's kosher to make fun of Chris Matthews on my blog for sexually harassing a new intern at MSNBC? Like the time he said, eating out, mad out, counts your lunch break, babe. Can I get a holla for recycling 3-year-old gems, but making them anew and introducing to all my new adoring fans? I'm helping my son color in a dragon in his dragon coloring book. I say, next time you see Baba or Mimi, and if they ask what you're coloring, say, hate speech dragon. Son laughs a long time, and he doesn't even know what I'm talking about. Actually, his mommy accuses me of hate speech all the time for insisting her parents on less tore up over spending another summer away from their grandchildren than Ben Shapiro skipping his speech on how to own liberals at the University of Delaware this spring. Can I get a holla for the least threatening Jew on this planet, Ben Shapiro, right after Chelsea Clinton's neutered husband? Holla! But at the same time, he totally requires $50,000 for security detail next time he decides to give a speech on owning Antifa in Berkeley. Holla! Putz breath. Question of the day for homeschool out there. How do you know you're tough if you can't take daddy roughing you up? After the extended firm yet gentle nookie I give my son, he laughs a long time. Homeschooling rules. When dad's in charge. Can I get a holla for stroke it off? Do all dads matter? Joy, stop bombing at parenting. Ah! Worst vacation idea ever. My younger brother drives to Arizona to drive my mother back to do their own Thelma and Louise reenactment. So, just to recap, I shouldn't be laughing to disrupt my own flow. Worst vacation idea ever. Younger brother drives to Arizona to drive my mother back to New York this summer to do their best Thelma and Louise reenactment scene together because social distancing can't keep a mother apart from her mama's boy no matter what. Can I get a holla for a dumpage joke on mama's boys? Sorry, you got to deal with it. Holla! Putting the 3 grandchildren and herself in harm's way is inconsequential because fuck it, Trump's gonna beat hair sniffer anyway. Can I get a holla for Michael Kornblum in the zone of all zones? Everything he hits goes going, gone, holla! Thank you very much. Bike helmets are for slower people like the dude from Something About Mary. Not my son on a scooter with a single car in sight in the middle of the corona pandemic for miles and miles. Can I get another holla for great jokes that reflect emotional truth yet cross the line of wrong? But you gotta do that unless you want to be an editor's hack like Seth Meyers. Holla! Thank you very much. Fucking planetariums. Total dad advice. Don't take your kids to any IMAX film narrated by Neil deGrasse Tyson ever. First, God only made Neil deGrasse Tyson interesting for 2-minute spurts max. Because you doze off 2 minutes in after spending $40 a ticket. Second, nothing is scarier to a 9-year-old girl than the thought of a black hole swallowing up Earth whole. That no faulty mask from China can keep it safe social distance from. Can I get a holler for not letting China off the hook? Not in my lifetime, especially not in the Last Show podcast. Holla! A note of appreciation prayer for my wife. Lord, I value her agreeing with me over China being the main creator and accelerator of the coronavirus, despite her rock-solid claim of social distancing being a scientifically proven way to avoid getting the corona, unless you're some poor fuck in a Brooklyn nursing home forced to bunk with some corona patients for Cuomo's sake, because it's bad. It's a bad look to waste all the extra order body bags. Can I get a holla for that trifecta bit when we take down Cuomo? When we take down Cuomo in 3 separate parts. Holla! I say to my son, build a pool for the Human Torch with your magnet tiles. Son says, I said, and then I add, eats to cool off. My son says, he would die. Doodle dad lasts a long time. Can I get a holla for my son topping Doodle Dad in the lab department in terms of like quality of ad-lib of the top of his creatively checked dome personality. Holla! The other day, my daughter asked, Daddy, why didn't the skeleton go to the dance? I say, because he wasn't a member of the Skull and Bones, decided W, trying to paint a members-only sign in Crayola outside, rattled him a bit. Can I get a holla for bringing back W? Hey, Jon Stewart, you want to, like, suck me off sometime this century? Holla! Knowing that I make fun of W, so that means we're a part of each other, we're part of the same tribe. Holla! So yesterday for homeschooling, how my son started writing a story using the Pixar story mapping method that went like this. Once upon a time, there was a soldier named Gung Ho. Every day, he'd get a new gun because he always lose the last. One day, he found all his missing guns. Because of that, he threw them all away except one. Because of that, he started talking to his lone gun until finally, Gung Ho married his gun. I had my son name his story Semi-Automatic Love. Can I get a holla for a school assignment story to get my kid suspended from kindergarten for causing more social unrest than I ever possibly could on Twitter? Holla! Proud dad moment. I got my daughter to flip the bird at her hand-me-down company-issued IBM, first time ever, because the internet took forever to load for an assignment on the classroom portal. Outside of her having to answer the question of the day, what's special about May 4th? It's Star Wars Day, because it was trending on Twitter for some stupid reason. May the Force be with you sounds nothing like the 4th, but Jack Dorsey at Twitter and ZipFaceSuck at Facebook are more concerned with censoring hate speech about the Wuhan lab, spreading the man-made virus on purpose and downplaying its role and spreading it worldwide, because it's not like they told the world to chill while hoarding all the faulty masks themselves, that being Corona China. Can I get a holla for China not relenting on the China bashing one bit, one iota, because it's the Last Joke Podcast. Holla! I don't like Jeremy Lin anymore because he's a fake news Christian. Can I get a holla for the headline hawker king of America? Holla! Sorry. If Jeremy Lin was so concerned with spreading the light, then take a stand and don't play for the Beijing Ducks, asshole. I'm positive LeVar Ball could start his new tweener league with you as the semi-deplorable star in J.R. Smith's eyes. It's not as if Jeremy Lin is hurting for cash. I'm also calling him, Jeremy Lin, a fake news Christian. You're a fake news Christian because Jeremy Lin claiming he wanted to play for the Knicks after insanity, no matter what, is bullshit. Because I wouldn't play for the Knicks afterwards after J.R. Smith bitched about Jeremy Lin hogging the bike lane all to himself. Can I get a holla for like an 8-year-old punchline? Find the perfect place for it. Holla! I'm sorry. Jeremy Lin is a fake news Christian unless he asks Jesus for forgiveness for calling Landry Fields a Stanford grad, Jared Jeffries a cross-eyed hick who played for Indiana, and Steve Novak, another Midwest kid from Wisconsin, who wasn't a founding member of the Onion, as hilarious. All right. The championship belt thing was funny the first time Novak did it. But that's more smile-inducing than hilarious, okay? No one in the history of mankind had decided to lump together Landry Fields, Jim Jeffries, and Steve Novak as hilarious, as if we're talking about Nick DiPaolo, Jim Norton, and, Colin Quinn if we're feeling extra generous and if, we have like a gun put to our head. Can I get a holla? For making fun of the Bard of what do you call him? The Bard of Brooklyn, because he's more new age than Neil Simon, and Neil Simon never had to get laughs at the Comedy Cellar, so that makes him more special, I guess. Holla! Now, the PR director for the Cavs insisting J.R. Smith start conducting his post-game interviews off his hoverboard because he's high enough already. Now, that's hilarious. Can I get a holla for the Jeremy Lin fake news Christian bashing only beginning to unfurl? Call back to resist this. Available on YouTube right now for more last-minute consumption. Holla! I can't let it go. I can't let it go, New York. Christian America at large. I can't let it go. I mean, no disrespect, but Jeremy Lin is a fake news Christian. Using, of all the words, passion. He had to use one word to describe Spike Lee, and he describes to use the word passion to describe Spike Lee during his interview with Steve Serby at the New York Post. Passionate about portraying all Jews as soulless, predatory, manipulative, money-grubbing heaps in every single one of his films? Fine, I'll grant you that much sanity. Can I get a holla for Spike Lee was denied entrance at the Garden for cigarette just because of his Resist This shirt? Holla! At least Jeremy Lin didn't go out of his way during this interview with Steve Serby at the Post to call the communist ruling party in China some very fine people. But what really burned me about the Jeremy Lin's interview with the New York Post, besides a lack of provocative questions, such as, so have all the woke Harvard alum ruined late-night comedy in your eyes? Or care to comment, Jeremy, on the Asian American community losing their lawsuit against Harvard University for penalizing academic excellence by handing out school slots to less deserving students like hotcakes because Michelle Obama isn't proud of her country yet? Or, Jeremy, how do you feel about learning your former alma mater gave Lolita Island owning Jeffrey Epstein his own private office with a private pedal landline after he gave the school a cool $10 million to keep those records sealed? Judicial Watch blew his cover, I'm assuming. Epstein was already convicted underage sex offender at this point, but giving him his own private, untraceable Lolita line at Harvard to scout new virgin trim to break in because they had their heads too buried in their books to come up for air until freshman orientation. Sounds kosher, don't you think, Lin? Can I get a holla for that amazing flow and me showing some self-restraint for wanting to inject a bunch of awesome, more than deserved hollers in between the awesome flow? Holla! But another question, Jeremy. Plus, do you really believe Obama, another Harvard alum, is a baller at basketball, knowing he rode the bench at an all-Asian private school in Hawaii? Can I get a holla for a joke that I'm going to call it the most non-divisive joke of all time because it's a funny premise that everyone can laugh at? Holla! Or Jeremy, or do you know anybody who knew of Obama's time at the Harvard Law Club? A friend from Columbia would love to know. Can I get a holla for Nick DiPaolo and James Woods, knowing what the fuck I'm talking about there? Holla! Last, do you think NBC's heart was, Jeremy, do you think NBC's heart was really into replacing Jay Leno with Conan O'Brien permanently in the first place? Knowing Conan was a tattoo-eccentric nerdy compared to Johnny Carson for the Tonight Show's taste, do you think Conan being demoted to TBS makes him feel like a resounding winner who came out on top, knowing NBC is just fake news bullshit in bed with China now like the rest, TNT included? Can I get a holla for closing the most legendary fake news question Jeremy Lin bit for the ages? Holla! So this doodle dad playing story developer, consultant / head writer with my son Art Show USA, who is my new creative consultant. We did the Pixar mapping method, okay? Something you can try with your kids at home. So this is me adding value, LinkedIn. Hope you appreciate it. You're welcome. It's called the Sun Hog God. Can I get a holla? So I'm going to stroke off my headline hawker prowess that only gets better with age, because I stroke it and I build it and I strengthen every day. Holla! The Sun Hog God. Once upon a time, there was a Greek god named Fetafoot. Every day, Fetafoot ran toward the sun to maintain his golden hue. One day, Fetafoot got third-degree burns after Zeus removed his sun burn-blocking powers because Aphrodite complained about him hogging up all the sun for himself. Because of that, Fetafoot didn't leave his beach house until winter came. Because of that, Fetafoot used his time at home to write a Greek comedy about an albino god who falls in love with getting laughs from Lady Laugh Muse because he can no longer rely on his tan good looks to impress all the pretty Greek nymphs in town. Until finally, Poseidon grants Fetafoot an all-expense paid booze cruise around the Mediterranean, including all the guapa you could drink, if he promises to wear at least SPF 50 on the ship, or else he'll catch fire, since Zeus removed his almighty shield-protecting skin from killer sunburn for good. The end. Can I get a holla for Art Show USA providing the narrative thrust to that story by saying, he's got to lose a power, he has to lose a power, Daddy. Holla! This is the Do It All Daddy Your podcast. If you haven't picked up on that by now, dad-friendly entertainment for you and me. What Gen X parents understand. Controlling kids of comedy can make our kids great again. It's the Last Joke podcast. You've all been wonderful. Moving forward, you're going to be hearing a oration of the Great American Jew novel. You're welcome again, and I'll talk to you guys soon.